Hello, a very good morning, and many thanks for joining us for Sports Today on ABS TV, the Monday edition of the show, and it happens to be the last day in the month of July. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. My name is Ike Nwoked. A whole lot to talk about in the world of sports. A whole lot went down at the weekend. On the show today, we'll tell you that Nigeria gains a promotion to Group 3 of the Davis Cup. That's in tennis for women. Also, Aguata Football Academy unveils 75 players for the pioneer class on the occasion of their matriculation ceremony. Also, Max Verstappen extends a title in Formula One. It's now 8 for him. And we'll talk about football, some transfer gist, and equally bring you up to the very latest as regards the Super Falcons, a final group match coming up at this morning, 11 o'clock to be precise. The Super Falcons set to take on the Ireland national team, and the match is coming up by 11 o'clock on. You can watch that live on terrestrial TV. Now, let's begin with our first story on the show. Our first story on the show will go to Aguata. Let's tell you that history was made on Saturday, 29th July 2023, as Aguata Football Academy unveiled her 2023 pioneer class of 75 players on the occasion of their matriculation ceremony. Yes, and it was colorful, and the colorful event held at the Aguata local government area secretariat brought together top football stakeholders in the state, parents of the players, and the good people of Aguata who came to witness the unveiling of the pool of talented players for under 13 and under 17 categories of the academy. In his address, the transition committee chairman of Aguata LG and the initiator of the AFA project, Dr. Chibueze Ofobike, stated that AFA is a platform created to produce the next generation of top-class footballers in the local government and the state at large. Ofobike asserted that the existence of the Aguata Football Academy is an opportunity for players who were successful from the screening exercise to be groomed as we anticipate that they will become potential professional footballers, he said. Today we are gathered here to celebrate the 75 boys who qualified to be admitted into the Aguata Football Academy for the first time in history. Ofobike stated, when we had this vision of setting up a platform to train people in the game of football, it was like a dream, but today it has become a reality. We are delighted that we have set up a platform for these young ones to become potential professional footballers. This is a process and a journey, as most big dreams have started very small, and we believe that in the nearest future we will have world-class players from the Aguata Football Academy. I want to also appreciate all the individuals whose contributions were instrumental to this noble cause. Let me also appreciate the parents of the players, because if not for their support and understanding, this project may not have been achieved. My special thanks to Honorable Patrick Estate Onyedum, Chairman Anambra State Sports Development Commission, and Chikelo Ilenyosi, Chairman Anambra State Football Association, for their advice, support, and commitment towards the success of the project. Ofobike stated in his remarks, Patrick Estate Onyedum, Chairman Anambra State Sports Development Commission, thanked Honorable Ofobike for his visionary leadership and commitment towards the success of this project. Onyedum, who was represented by yours sincerely, affirmed that the players have a greater future ahead of them with the combination of sports and education. The Sports Commission boss admonished the players to be focused on the task ahead, work hard and remain disciplined, as these are virtues that will propel them to stardom and becoming world-class footballers. He stated that as a way to support the project, that the commission is donating 5 match balls to the academy, even as he thanked the parents for their support and making the dream become a reality. On his part, the chairman, Anambra State Football Association, Chikelo Ilenyosi, congratulated the players for being selected among many who indicated interest to be part of the academy. Ilenyosi reminded them that the road to fame is not easy, but is achievable through self-determination, hard work, and discipline. He thanked the parents and the Aguata for their support towards the success of the project. Speaking on behalf of the local football council, the chairman on Onitsha North Local Football Council, John Ubendo, commended the process which led to the selection of the players. Ubendo affirmed that the selection process was smooth and hitch-free, as the scouts employed the use of exponential charter to get at the right players for both under 13 and under 17. He praised the TCC chairman for ensuring that the vision became a reality, re-echoing the views of other speakers, a football administrator and clergy. Reverend Father Damian Ogwata thanked Dr. Fobike for putting Aguata once again on the map through the instrumentality of football. He called on the players to make the best of the opportunity. Responding, one of the parents of the selected players, Mrs. Njideka Chukwu Emezie, thanked Honorable Fobike for his innovation, which has yielded a good fruit. She stated that AFA has answered the prayer of his son, Peter Chukwu Emezie, whose dreams of playing football at the top level has become a reality. High points of the occasion is the formal induction of the players into the Aguata Football Academy, performed by the chairman, Anambra State Football Association, in the person of Chikelo Ilonius. So it's now confirmed that the pioneer class now have started out there at the Aguata Football Academy. 75 players were unveiled for the 2023 Pioneer class in the matriculation ceremony held on Saturday at the Aguata LGA Secretariat, and it's a beginning of great things to happen in the lives of the players. And here on Sports Today, we'll continue to keep the spotlight on Aguata Football Academy and tell you how the academy is faring. I will bring you up to the very latest as regards the professional side of things, playing the games and all that in due course in subsequent edition of Sports Today on ABS TV. And now we'll leave Aguata. Let's talk about tennis. Years of toiling and working to return to the elite tennis division in the world came to an end, and that was on Saturday as Nigeria gained a promotion back to Group 3 of the Davis Cup Championship. We here drawn in Group B alongside Angola, Mozambique, and Rwanda at the 2023 Group 4 of Africa Zone of Davis Cup taking place at the Ecology Tennis Club in Kigali, Rwanda. The quartet of Wilson Ibwinovia, Christopher Bulus, and David Ebenyong and Uchenna Obaroji did not drop any set in the group matches with an emphatic 3-0 win over Angola, Mozambique, and Rwanda to qualify for the semi-final, where the two finalists will automatically gain promotion to Group 3. For the first time, the Nigerian side dropped a set when Ebenyonga was beaten 6-1, 6-3 by Kenya's Kyle Shan in the first singles match. Bulus, who has been outstanding for the team in the competition, restored a parity for Nigeria with a 6-1 win over Ishmael Zai to put the final doubles match into a decider for both teams. The pair of Bulus and Ibwinovia brought out their best against Kenya's duo of Shah and Ibrahim Yego with what could be described as the match of their lives. The Nigerian triumphed as 6-3-7-6 to seal the team's place in Group 3 for next year. Also, Ghana joined Nigeria in Group 3 next year against the commandery 3-0 win over host Rwanda, and that's the way it went. Right now, Nigeria coasting through to the Davis Cup 3, and we'll say congratulations to the host of tennis players who has brought fame to themselves and of course uplifted the nation tennis-wise and put them on the spotlight. Moving away from that, let's talk about basketball. Let's talk about the Tigress. The Tigress are still in action in Africa. Nigeria's the Tigress has defeated Egypt in the ongoing 2023 FIBA Women's Afro Basketball Championship happening in Kigali in Rwanda. The defending champions trashed Egypt, who had previously defeated DR Congo. Before facing the Nigerian team, the Tigress dominated the game through to the final quarter with 83-65 scoreline win, having scored 18-10 win in the first quarter with a halftime score of 23-42. The result never changed going into the third quarter, with Nigeria dominating to win the set 56-42, but the news is that they got the better of Egypt and they are doing well after seeing off Congo some 3 days ago, and still in their group at the ongoing 2023 FIBA and World Women's African Basketball Championship happening in Kigali, the capital of Rwanda. And back to football, Nigeria star Calvin Bassey has finalized his transfer to English club Fulham from Dutch giant Ajax Amsterdam. Ajax officially confirmed that they agreed a transfer fee of 22.5 million with 22.5 million euros with Fulham after the London-based side reinforced its defense ahead of the 2023-2024 season. Bassey holds the record for the most expensive Nigeria defender in history, overtaking Super Eagles legend Taribo West when he moved to Ajax for a guarantee fee of 23 million. That's 23 million pounds. That was as far back as July. It was 2000. And it was 2002. The 23-year-old defender has agreed a contract until 2027 with Fulham option to extend by a further 12 months, and he will wear the number 3 shirt this season. Bassey has 10 caps for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but right now he's set to start lacing his boot for Fulham and has moved from the Ajax Amsterdam out there in Holland. And still talking about Nigeria players abroad from one Nigerian to another, let's tell you that Rotherham United have signed a winger Fred Onyedinma on season-long loan with from Premier League side Luton Town. We hear the 26-year-old Nigerian joined the Hatters from Wycombe Wanderers, where he had made 114 appearances in 2 loan moves and 1 permanent spell with the club. Onyedinma made 21 appearances for Luton Town as they won a promotion to the top flight through the playoffs last season. He is the Miller's second signing in as many days after Dexter Lembikisa joined on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he was on Thursday. And we say congratulations to that player. Fred Onyedinma has moved now on Rotterdam United, though he's on loan from Premier League club Luton Town, and let's see how it goes for him and this coming 2023-2024 season. And we wish Fred Onyedinma all the very best in his career. And moving on to the African scene, let's tell you that top Egyptian tactician Hossam El Badri has resigned from his role as the head coach of Tunisian club Sportive Sfaxien. That's ES Sfaxien. This has come as a surprise as the experienced mentor was appointed a match this year, taking charge of 17 competitive matches, winning 5, drawing 6 and losing 6. The Tunisian giant announced that El Badri had resigned on their official website, on their official Facebook page. El Badri, 63 years of age, had 3 successive stints with Al Ahly as the head coach between 2009 and 2018. He won 3 Egyptian Premier League titles, Egypt Cup, 3 Egyptian Super Cup, CAF Champions League trophy, as well as the CAF Super Cup. And from one place to another, let's go to Kenya. Gor Mahia will not be included in the 2023-2024 CAF Champions League after being denied a club license by the Kenyan Football Federation, the KFF, ahead of Tuesday's draw. KO Galo, we are due to feature in the qualifying rounds of the Africa's Elite Club competition after peeping Tusker to a record 28th Kenya Premier League title by a single point on the final day of the season. However, the Nairobi Giants were in breach of FIFA and CAF rules for failing to pay 3 of their former players, Sando Yangaya, Julius Oliwengu, and Adama Keita, who reported them to the World's Football Governing Body. And the Kenyan champions have failed to meet last Thursday's deadline, though, and have been blocked from representing their country on the continental stage as per FIFA and CAF rules. And the FKF had hoped that the Brewers would replace their local rivals in the CAF Champions League, but their request came too late. That's what happens when you don't pay players their remuneration and they decide to report you to CAF or FIFA sledgehammer of this nature and ban of this sort that can land on them. And Gor Mahia is suffering the consequences of not playing 3 players who reported to FIFA, and right now they've been denied the chance of playing in the CAF Interclub competition in the mode of the CAF Confederations Cup. You're watching Sports Today on ABS TV. Time for a short break. When we come back on the show, we'll tell you about Max Verstappen, and we'll also tell you about the new addition of Chelsea Football Club, and then we'll reel out the starting 11 of the Super Falcons as they get set to take on the Ireland national team in a little over an hour and a half in the match, the final group match coming up later this morning by 11 o'clock. These are more coming up shortly on when we come back on the flip side of Sports Today. Stick around. Welcome back to the show. It's Sports Today, the Monday edition, the 31st of July 2023, the last Monday, the last day in the month of July. Thank you very much once again for joining us on the show. In the first half, we told you that Aguata Football Academy, they have unveiled 75 players for their 2023 Pioneer class. And of course, that was during the matriculation ceremony held at the weekend. It was on Saturday, to be precise, at the Aguata. It was at the Aguata LGA Secretariat. We equally told you how Nigeria is faring in the Davis Cup, and told you how the Tigress at the Nigeria basketball female team are also faring at the ongoing Afro basketball for the women happening in the capital of Rwanda, which is Kigali. We told you how they saw off their counterparts from Egypt, and how they equally defeated Congo before this time, and how they are raring to go. We equally told you that Fulham has completed the signing of Calvin Bassey, Nigerian player. We told you that Fred Onyedema has moved from Luton Town to Rotherham United for the rest of the season. And we equally told you that Hossam El Badri has dumped CX Faxiam and is looking for pastoral new Gor Mahia. The Kenyan club have been denied the opportunity to feature in the CAF. It's actually the CAF Champions League, not the CAF Confederations Cup, like I said earlier. The CAF Champions League for not playing 3 players at their wages, and those 3 players went ahead to report to the World Governing Body for Football, talking about FIFA, and the African Governing Body for Football also, that's the Confederation of African Football. And because of that, the sledgehammer has landed on them, and this they will not be featuring in the CAF Champions League for the 2023-2024 season. Well, now still talking about sports on the show. Well, let's tell you that the starting 11 for the match, the Super Falcons match against the Ireland national team is out, and we can confirm to you that for the starting 11 for Nigeria, Chiamaka Nnadozie will be in between the sticks, and for the fullback, the left fullback position, Chiamaka Nnadozie, number 16 share. For the left fullback position, we'll have Ashley Plumtree, number 2 jersey, we'll have Oluwatosin Demehim. Sporting jersey number 14, we'll have, he will be partnered by Osinachi Ohale, jersey number 3. We also have Michelle Alozie, jersey number 22. Yes, Michelle Alozie has been in the news for the right reasons, and that's a lady that is also studying and doing well in her academics in the medical line. Let's also tell you that in midfield we'll have Christy Uchebo, jersey number 10. We'll have Deborah Ajibola Abiodun, jersey number 13. Asisa Toshuala, jersey number 8 is on the left flank, and we'll have Tony Payne, jersey number 7, in between in the heart and soul of the midfield. And then not forgetting Rashidat Ajibade, jersey number 15, playing on the right hand side, and Ifoma on Numono is up front out there, putting on jersey number 6. So that's what the starting 11 looks like for Nigeria Super Falcons ahead of their match against the Ireland national team. The match starts this morning by 11 o'clock. Just to recap, Chiamaka Nnadozie in between the sticks, I will have Ashley Plumtree, Oluwatosin Demehim, Osinachi Ohale, and Michelle Alozie in defense. In midfield is a 4-2-3-1 formation. In midfield, we'll have Deborah Ajibola Abiodun and Christy Uchebo alongside Asisa Toshuala, Tony Payne, and Rashidat Ajibade. in the midfield, while up front we'll have Ifeoma Onumonu up front out there. That's the starting 11. For the Ireland national team, we'll have Courtney Brosnan in between the sticks. For the women team out there, we'll have Niem Fahe, Louisa Wayne, and Megan Connolly rather, playing in defense, supporting 4, 5, and 6 respectively. We'll have Aine Ogoman, Dennis O'Sullivan, Rusha, Little John, and Kati Makabe in the middle of a pack in a 3-4-3 formation. And we'll have Marisa Sheva, Siniada Luisa Farelli, and Sinia Farelli playing out there up front, while Kila Taylor Carusa is the number 9 in this match. It's a 3-4-2-1 formation for them, as we anticipate at the commencement of this match. The match will begin by 11 o'clock Nigerian time. It's Nigeria taking on Ireland. That's in their last group match of the ongoing FIFA Women's World Cup. And the match will be played at the Brisbane Stadium. And the referee for this game is a Mexican by name Gatti Garcia. Yes, Gatti Garcia is expected to officiate this match between the Ireland national team and the Super Falcons in their last group match. And remember, the Falcons are still topping their group with 4 points. And a win today will seal top spot and then ensure that they meet maybe a lesser fancy side, a team that will finish second in their own group as the competition goes on. So we wish the Super Falcons all the very best as we anticipate the kickoff, which is expected to happen from 11 a.m. This morning. Moving on the show, let's talk about Formula One. In Formula One, Max Verstappen was in imperious form as he came from 6th on the grid to win the Belgium Grand Prix. The Red Bull drivers' 8th consecutive victory in the final race before the summer break extended his championship lead to 125 points. Verstappen led Sergio Perez. Yeah, Verstappen led Sergio Perez home to a Red Bull 1-2, but was in another league from his teammates. And Ferrari's Charles Leclerc took third ahead of Mercedes Lewis Hamilton and Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso in that race. And Verstappen drove cautiously in the early laps as he picked his way up from his unusual low grid position, caused by a five-place grid penalty for using too many gearbox parts after he had qualified on pole by 0.8 seconds. And the world champion was up to 4th on the first lap, but did not pass Hamilton until lap 6 and Leclerc until lap 9. Both times are using the DRS overtaking aid to overtake into the less compressed chicane at the end of the longer Camel Straight. And Perez, who had passed Leclerc for the lead up in the same straight on the first lap, hung on in front until he's pit stop, and that was on lap 13. But Max Verstappen continued and was able to finish up in a great way to win this Grand Prix. That's the Belgian Grand Prix. He's 8th straight win for the season. Congratulations to him. And now let's talk about tennis. Poland's Iga Swiatek and Germany's Alexander Zverev claimed the titles at their home opens, and that was on Sunday. Women's world number 1 Swiatek defeated Germany's Laura Siegmund 6-love, 6-1 in Warsaw to win at the Poland Open. Meanwhile, Zverev defeated Serbia's Laszlo Dere 7-5, 6-3 in the final of the Hamburg Open, and Swiatek only completed her semi-final earlier in the day after play was suspended on Saturday night because of a bad light, and the 22-year-old was 6-1, 5 up against Janina Wickmeyer at the time, and she eventually claimed a 6-1, 7-6 victory over the Belgian. When the match was resumed, she raced through the championship match against Siegmund in just 68 minutes without facing a single break point. And Zverev, 15th in the men's singles rankings, also raced through his final, wrapping up a straight set win in just under 2 hours for the first title. And and that was the first title since the 2021 ATP final. So congratulations to Iga Swiatek and also Zverev for the victory in tennis over the weekend, and that's for the WTA and also the WTA and the ATP titles. And still talking about tennis, an unnamed Russian player was stopped by Czech police from entering the country as she arrived to compete in the WTA Prague Open. A new government resolution had banned athletes from Russia or Belarus taking part in any event in the Czech Republic, and several Russian and Belarusian players had been expected to compete in the Prague as neutrals, but tournament organizers have now told them not to travel. And tournament director Miroslava Mali said she was the first participant to arrive to the Czech Republic with a Russian passport, and the Women's Tennis Association WTA said it would continue to review the situation as we factor important considerations around these complex geopolitical issues. The statement read, he added, WTA rules state that all players must be allowed to compete on the WTA based solely on merit without discrimination. Last week, Russia's Vera Zvonareva was blocked from entering Poland for the Warsaw Open for reasons of state security and public safety, and the decisions come as a result of Russia's continuing invasion of Ukraine, which is unending. And right now, some countries are taking a decision. There's some countries that are pro-Ukrainian supporters are taking decision. Czech Republic is one of them. And of course, for places like Poland, also and equally related environments around that area, the Soviet Union, having these issues with Russian players and Belarusian players are featuring in either the WTA or the ATP events, and this is not good for sports development. Vera Zvonareva has suffered that fate of not being allowed to play in Poland when she traveled all the way for that championship, and this is not good for sports. And of course, the war between Ukraine and Russia is not helping matters, and almost on daily basis is actually destroying diplomatic ties between the two countries and also the surrounding countries for those that are supporting Russia and those that are supporting Ukraine. But we hope that in no distant time there will be some moments of a truce to end this turmoil happening out there and the war between Ukraine and Russia, which is now over a year. And now, lastly, before we jet on the show, let's talk about football. Chelsea have reached an agreement to sign defender Axel Disasi from AS Monaco for a fee believed to be in the region of 45 million euros. That's about 38.57 million pounds. And France international Disasi, 25 years of age, will give Chelsea another right-sided centre-back option following the injury to Wesley Fofana. Fofana has been ruled out for several months after undergoing anterior cruciate ligament surgery. And of course, when you hear is about ACL, expect the player to be out for a minimum of 7 to 8 months. And that's the fate of Wesley Fofana, which has made Chelsea to go for the France international Disasi, 25 years of age. And Benoit Badiashile is also currently injured and will not be fit until after the Premier League season starts. Chelsea have Thiago Silva, Trevor Chalobah, and Levi Colwill, who has interest from Brighton and Hove Albion as their options in the center of defense as things stand at this point. And Disasi has made 118 appearances for Monaco since joining the Ligue 1 club from Stade de Reims, and that was in August 2020. He has earned 4 caps for France, making his full international debut in the World Cup defeat by Tunisia, and that was in the month of November. And the Frenchman will become Chelsea's third summer signing, following forwards Nicolas Jackson and Christopher Nkunku to Stamford Bridge. And the Blues are also close to securing £23.2 million signing of Rennes midfielder Leslie Ugochukwu, though he could be immediately recently sent on loan to Ligue 1 side Strasbourg after Chelsea's ownership group purchased a major stake in the club earlier this season. So that's how Chelsea are strengthening right now for the season, and this is a club that will not play in the Champions League or the Europa League come next season. And let's see how things go. Mauricio Pochettino is now the new coach of the club, and he has taken over to see if he can revive the fortunes out there at Chelsea Football Club. All is not rosy out there at Chelsea FC, and a lot of exodus. The likes of Havertz has left, Mount has left, and lots of players, key players at that, have left at the club, Chelsea Football Club, and Chelsea are trying to fill the void left by these departing players who have gone for postures and new. So continue to follow up on Chelsea and how they will be faring for the upcoming 2023-2024 season. On that note, that's about the size of the show this morning, Sports Today on ABS TV. Thank you so much for being part of the Monday edition. The show will make a return tomorrow for another episode. Until then, my name is Ike Mokeri. On behalf of the team, I wish you a lovely Monday, but remember to keep sporting. Bye-bye now.